This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Right away out the hopper, I have a couple of guests on this morning. I have, and I'm going to try to put them. Are they directly on, Dave? Oh, we're directly on. Look at that. The technology today. I have Dr. Allison Fury and Dr. Art Rideout. These are two of the key people behind Team Broken Earth, a group of volunteer medical professionals here in St. John's that started this organization in the wake of the 2010 disastrous earthquake in Haiti, and since then they have been sending teams of medical professionals, doctors, nurses, physiotherapists around the world to areas that are in desperate need of support medically. Dr. Fury, Dr. Rideout, welcome to Open Line.
Thanks, Darren. Great to be here.
Thanks, Darren.
There we go. We got both of you. Okay, that's great. Look, first off, this is you're 15 years in now with Team Broken Earth, sending teams around the globe to support different areas, and you've made a lot of partners around the world with medical professionals. But there's also other teams of Broken Earth now. It's become a bigger than just the St. John's Group organization, hasn't it?
Yes, we have teams across the country, and volunteers. Thousands of volunteers that we've engaged between here and BC. It's wonderful.
And I guess the big thing is monitoring what's going on in the world. And of course, in the wake of the disastrous earthquakes in Haiti, where actually Newfoundlanders were when it happened and were able to get out of the country. The first groupings went to Haiti in 2011, again in 2012 in the wake of that. And now we're seeing something fairly similar, not quite in scope, but in Venezuela, a couple of back-to-back earthquakes. Team Broken Earth must be thinking about the people and probably the medical need in that country as you look forward to what your programs will be.
For sure. Those images from Venezuela, Darren, you've been to Haiti, you know what it's like. It immediately brings back those memories, and every disaster is different, but that human suffering is the same, and our role is to ask, that question: how can we safely make a difference? And that's a lot of things that come together, and there's lots of great people that want to make that happen, but it also needs some thought behind it because it needs infrastructure too.
Yeah, and one of the big things about earthquakes, of course, and it's a terrible loss of life, but that also, and I guess where you folks come in, is the thousands upon thousands that are injured and need care that countries just can't meet the need.
Yeah, it's Haiti really shaped Team Broken Earth, and that disaster medicine is really about people, not the politics involved. And trying to get, the common denominator that we see wherever we go is that, families are worried about their loved ones and want to get them back. And so it's those lessons of infrastructure and providing care usually goes in phases. There's that immediate rescue, and then there's the recovery. And Dr. Allison Fury was there. We did a site visit to Jamaica. And initially there's a lot of emergency response, but as you say, that ongoing need for trauma care, perinatal care, and for us really the long-lasting part is that educational component, because we have wonderful talent here that we can bring to those sites that can make a difference.
Yeah, and one of the things, when you and I was in Haiti in 2012, and one of the things that struck me the most was the reputation that the Canadian medical contingents, and specifically the St. John's contingent, the Newfoundland contingent, originally had, that people came from everywhere because they wanted to see the Canadian doctors. That's a reputation that's really important for you folks around the world, is it not?
Absolutely.
You want to take
and
that?
Team Broken Earth has grown in the last 15 years to be one of the largest medical relief organizations in the country, and it's our volunteers and our professionalism that makes that reputation as good as it is. And we bring a level of care, a standard of care. We bring best practice. We bring evidence-based care to places that need it the most. And we're really proud of where we've come and how much we've grown and how far we've come in the last 15 years. And we're ready to expand and continue to grow and find ourselves in places around the world where they need us.
Yeah, and it's not just that massive disaster relief anymore, is it? It's finding that need that's out there in different countries and supporting those that are already there, helping the local medical people, helping the local people, and bringing the information and the knowledge to those countries.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly it, Darren. What we found is the sustainable part is that primary care and education. And I think there's an element, and maybe that's our success in Haiti too, and in other countries in the Caribbean, is that, we're an island population, and there comes with that a culture of helping others, of self-sustainability, and our Canadian education at all levels, in medical and professional, it really has an influence in other cultures. And I think we have that same background of wanting to help others. And that can make a big difference at many levels. Like, I think Dr. Fury, when she was in Jamaica, there's a couple of linesmen from Newfoundland Power that were down there after the hurricane. And it's that connection that really builds on itself. So we're very proud of that.
Yeah, the reputation of professionalism and, of course, the knowledge-based. And, we don't know, and we always say this, we don't know how good we have it and how much we take for granted living here in Newfoundland and Labrador compared to other places. Aside from the earthquakes in Haiti, you go to a country that was riddled with gangs, and now, of course, you must be saddened to know what's going on in Haiti now that they're in a worse shape almost than before the earthquakes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one of those ones. One of our big tenets is also volunteer safety. So right now, Haiti unfortunately has those issues. Having said that, we have beautiful teams, for example, in Ottawa and here in Newfoundland that have been to Dominican Republic. And because it's that close proximity to Haiti, we're doing some care there. And so it's one of those things where the need is everywhere, and we try to, if we can't get to Haiti, well, we'll get as close as we can to service some of that need and also do some education. There's wonderful teams. Our COO, Michelle Murphy, she's been taking teams to Uganda and Dominican Republic, and that expansion is really important to us because we need that partner on the ground to really make that difference. It doesn't happen with us alone. It needs those people engaged, and as you know, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you're monitoring Venezuela, and I know that it was a year after the earthquake in Haiti. It'll take some time to assess, make sure that what the need is, and working with the professionals in that country to see if your supports are required or wanted, needed, and so forth. But that doesn't mean you're not planning for your next excursions to help. What do you got already set up coming up this fall?
Well, we've had a pretty busy 2026 so far. We had 9 missions that we completed in the winter and the spring, and starting in September, we have another 5 or 6 missions that are planned. They're surgical missions and rural missions to Guatemala, and we're looking at returning to Jamaica. And we're still putting our calendar together for 2027, and we're hoping to continue to make our difference.
Yes, so Team Broken Earth has been on the go 15 years this year. First came together. How has it changed putting teams together now as opposed to what it was like then, and trying to figure out what it is you need to do and want to do?
I think the common denominator there is there's lots of people that want to help, and one of the things that we've been able to do is bring those people together. Initially, it was a lot of word of mouth and very organic, and even this spread across the country was, MUN grads wanting to be connected. I think now we have a lot more interdisciplinary, and we do a lot of mixing of the teams across the country. So, for example, in Guatemala this fall, there's the Team Newfoundland and the Team Winnipeg and the Team Calgary team will all converge in Guatemala to do their thing. And I love that cross-pollination. I love that idea of exchange, and it really builds that national feel. So we're very proud of that. And again, as you said, started all here in St. John's.
Yeah, and it's and these professionals, these doctors, nurses, physiotherapists, they're volunteering their time, aren't they?
Oh, more than that.
Yes,
they're
100%.
raising money to go. Yeah, it's amazing. They donate their time away from their family. They donate their talent. It is a beautiful thing. And the thing that always amazes me is as soon as they get back, they want to go again. And that really speaks to the that gift of being able to give back and make a difference.
You know, it happens in communities. It happens everywhere that those who give back, what they get back themselves from helping others drives your want to be involved more and more. And I'm sure you don't have any trouble finding the volunteers willing to give up their vacation time, their time, and working to fundraise and so forth to go. I suspect you probably got a major fundraiser coming up this year as well. What do you got happening there?
We sure do. We're celebrating 15 years of being on the ground in the world. And we have our Rock Op happening on September 12th this year. We're going to be promoting and raising funds in order to keep our work relevant and to keep us going. So we're starting. We're gathering our auction items, and we're getting together our sponsors, and really looking forward to a great event on September 12th.
Excellent. And Dr. Rideout, Dr. Fury, as we finish up, I'll give you each one last word, something you want to say to finish up this conversation.
I just want to say thank you to all the volunteers and all the supporters. We have a wonderful community of people across Canada that really make a difference, and without them, this would not be possible. So I just want to take a moment to thank them and their families. It's their families that support them to go to these places, and it truly makes a difference.
Dr. Fury?
Absolutely. I couldn't say it any better. Our volunteers are the heartbeat of this organization, and their families, and the talent that they bring every day, and the energy that they bring is top notch. And we wouldn't be here today without them. And our supporters in the community, we wouldn't be able to do that without you, and without everyone who continues to support us.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Art Rideout, Dr. Allison Fury with Team Broken Earth, medical professionals that volunteer their time with teams every year going to different places around the world that do not have the same medical supports that we have here, and they take their talent and their reputation with them, and that's our reputation that they take around the world. I know personally, I was in Haiti, and there were people that actually walked miles to come see the Team Newfoundland, the Team Broken Earth from Newfoundland, to get medical help in these countries. And of course, we watch now as Venezuela recovers from 2 devastating earthquakes, and I suspect that we're going to hear over the next while that Team Broken Earth won't be too far away from that helping out there. Thank you very much, both of you, this morning. Have a great day. Stay safe on your travels, and all the best with your fundraiser, the Rock Op that's happening this September. Take care now.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank you, Darren.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Joining me now is Dan Matteig, President of Canadians for Affordable Energy. Dan, welcome to the program.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, Darren.
Absolutely. And look, we're on the yo-yo again right now, up 4.5 or 4.8 today, down 3 cents yesterday, up 4 the day before. I mean, what's going on? What is going on with gas prices? Certainly the gas in the ground at the pumps hasn't changed price since they bought it.
No, the replacement cost does, and that's where you're seeing all this weirdness happening. But it is not the fault of the gas station, trust me, and it's not the PUB's fault. It has a lot to do with what's going on on the markets in New York. And those markets aren't about, you buy a commodity, you take possession of it, you fix a price. That's the way it was done for the past 160, 70 years. Now it's paper, financial positions. You actually buy into basically into hedging or stocks, and you buy the product. It's only on paper, so it's a financial commitment, and you never actually take delivery of that barrel of oil. Darren, for every barrel of oil, there's at least 50 players out there who've already speculated on that barrel of oil. And what they've done is, and it's probably for political reasons, they're short-selling oil and gasoline. As much as prices have gone up, they could have been a lot higher. We could be talking $2.40, $2.50, given the shortage that's in the world today. It's a real shortage. But we've been able to see, and I think it's being led by the Trump administration's Treasury Department, they're actually forcing down the price of oil because they know politically going to $5 a gallon in the United States is going to be it's going to be a wrecker. It's going to ruin their chances.
Political nightmare. Yeah, exactly right. And of course, we've always felt that in the U.S. Gas prices have been kept down, lower than we're used to get the up and down. But Americans tend to feed back more negatively on that number that's right in their face when they pull into a gas station. And the politicians down there realize that and understand the concern. And of course, they don't have a lot of the taxes put in for other things that we pay for, like healthcare and so forth. But their gas is cheaper than ours. Ours has traditionally been cheaper than Europe. I'm not sure if that's the case anymore. Maybe you know the difference.
Yeah, we're still cheaper, but it's only the difference is taxes. There's the other difference, though, Darren, that everyone seems to overlook, and that's the Canadian dollar. In the past, when we've had an energy crisis, didn't matter what it was, the Canadian dollar always fought back and equaled the value of the U.S. dollar. In other words, it came to parity. So one Canadian dollar would buy you one U.S. dollar. Today, it takes 141.4, I'm reading it right now, 141.4 pennies to buy a U.S. dollar. That adds in Newfoundland here 38 cents to the price of gasoline and diesel and pretty much every other commodity that we consume, because all commodities, whether made here or not, are priced in a denomination that's usually the U.S. greenback. So that's a real problem for Canada. And you and I touched on this last time we spoke, but Canada's got to up its game in terms of these energy projects like Bay Nord and get it out there, because as soon as it does, you get a lot more people trading their currency for Canadian currency. That'll increase the value of our purchase power and make us a whole lot richer. And I don't just mean money in our pocket. I mean our dollar can be stretched a hell of a lot further.
I did a little bit of math earlier in the week, and I don't mind to say that I don't mind dabbling in it, but I'm not sure about the accuracy of it. But when I looked at it, gas in Nova Scotia primarily was 10 cents a liter cheaper than in Newfoundland and Labrador. And I said, well, that's got to be difference in tax. And when I looked it up, it looks like Nova Scotia is actually paying a cent more a liter in tax than we are here. So it's not tax. So then I looked and said, well, how much does it cost to get the gas here? And if you got a tanker with 50 million liters of gas on it coming here, how much does it cost to get it here? And when I looked that up, it said anywhere from a cent to a cent and a half a liter. So you're still got an 8 cent. Where's that 8 cents going? Why is it that much more here in Newfoundland and Labrador than it is just in Nova Scotia?
Yeah, it's Nova Scotia is right beside the refinery. You guys had one there. Come by chance. I know I had a lot to do with restoring it back in 2000 when we got the restrictive covenant taken off, and it started to produce a lot. But lately, they've decided to go to just diesel, biodiesel, and things like that, and that's not going to really impact them. The other fact is, it's a very small one here, Darren, but it's actually it's my 2 cents worth, and it literally is. They got a 14% HST. You got 15%. Then you have to look at, what is the average cost, or what are they allowing gas retailers to get away with, or what are they have a regulated system as well. But the proximity issue may be more than 1 penny. Maybe by transport, it may be more like 2 or 3 cents a liter. I'd have to look at the shipping rates, but they do have an impact. Bottom line, though, is that you're a captive market. You don't really have much competition there because you haven't got much in the way of anybody coming other than, the usual suspects, Irving and others, that really determine the price. But it is all regulated. And the advantage you have is that prices go up only during the week, once a week, unless there's an interrupter clause that has to be used. Newfoundland wisely chose to go every day because the market's been going all over the map. And I know it's tough for people to do, but Darren, if they go to the affordableenergy.ca site, my site here, you'll see that the guy gives pretty much the same gas price predictions. I don't have quite the same formula that PUB does, but at the end of the day, believe it or not, the people in Newfoundland are a lot better off than the old system where you'd have an average price over the past, or looking over the past 7 days.
Yeah, especially with volatility. And of course, I know when you guys have got your information out, because I'm driving by gas stations in the evening, a lot of people there. And if there's nobody there, I know, okay, it's going up tomorrow. Right? It's not going up tomorrow. It's fine, right? But, some people have asked, and we had a caller ask earlier, how come, and I know you're going to go back to the market on this, but how come it seems that gas goes up when oil goes down and so forth? It doesn't seem to correlate much.
Really good question. But during the summer, gasoline is its own market, especially since demand for gasoline is high and oil can be all over the place. They tend to decouple during the summer months, and they come right back together towards the winter months. But you can tell this where it's going. I'll give you an example, Darren, and get everybody ready to do this. Just go on Bloomberg.com or what they call it, futures and commodities. It's one of the other. It's like I'm trying to think of the program there, but it's several of these things will show where oil is going. So you might have a day, and I haven't looked at it today, where oil is going down, but gasoline is going up. And that really depends on, let's say a refinery is shut down, several of them, oil isn't affected by that, but gasoline is, because some refineries are shut down in the United States. That could mean gasoline prices and diesel prices going up while oil falls. The other factor, that market I was telling you about a little while ago, that phony, I call it the phony market, but it's the paper market. They are shorting oil, but they're not shorting gasoline and diesel because that's a physical product. You can't shove paper financial credit notes in your gas tank. You got to have the real thing. What everyone has to know is right now oil is not selling for $71, $72 a barrel for WTI. It's more like 110, 115. Refineries know that because that's the real world. It's called the spot market. And gasoline and diesel are like the spot market. You pay what the actual demand is at the terminal where you pick it up, as opposed to second guessing it on the futures market, which a lot of these people are doing.
Dan, we've joked here a few times, amongst ourselves on Open Line as well, that it seems like every time J.D. Vance is ready to travel to the Middle East to solve the Iranian situation, the gas prices go down, and when he's hauled back or isn't allowed to leave Washington or wherever he is, the gas prices go up again. How much are we affected? How much are we affected day to day by what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz? Because that conflict over there does not seem like it's anywhere near an end.
Well, it's not the conflict that's the problem. It's not even the closure. You've got the world short 1.5 billion barrels of oil right now. All the emergency supplies, whether it's the United States Strategic Petroleum Reserve or various other reserves around the country from the what's called OECD countries who follow under the International Energy Agency, they've all depleted their resources by their stockpiles by about half. To refill that's going to take a long time, but in the case of the U.S., another 2 weeks, they can't draw any more reserve oil as a buffer. So what's happening? Every time there is a positive news, you see oil going down. When it's negative news, you see oil trying to go up. But here's what everyone needs to really understand: the U.S. Treasury Department is actually purchasing paper oil futures and trying to force the price down. Despite economics fundamentals, you got a short supply, you got high demand, prices have to go up. The reverse is also true. But right now, it's a head fake. They're manipulating the market, and unfortunately, it's short-term gain for us, relatively speaking, but it's long-term pain because these high prices are going to stay for a couple of years. That's
amazing. And you said earlier that we could be up in the 240s or 250 if the Americans weren't doing that. So that's just a shocking number, really. What if this continues the way it is, are we heading for those numbers anyway, or are we should expect for the rest of the summer into the fall roughly what we're seeing now?
Roughly what you're seeing now, plus minus 10 cents. We haven't even talked about hurricanes in the U.S. Gulf Coast, but the longer this goes on, and at the end of July, when you hear the word the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is run dry, you ran it down, Donald Trump. You ran out of buffer, you ran out of emergency supplies. then the fur is going to fly because where are you going to get your oil from? And Canada is pumping as much as it can. Thank God they are, because if it wasn't for us, the Americans would be damn short. They can talk about being the suppliers to the world. They do supply a lot of gasoline. Why? Because their oil can produce gasoline, but it can't produce diesel. No diesel, no maritime fleet. No diesel, no jets. No diesel, no railway. No diesel, no military. No diesel, no mining, no agri. You get what I mean. Diesel is a global workhorse. Canada provides a lot of that. The Americans are recognizing, I think, realizing very quickly here by the end of July, it's game over. If there isn't some kind of normalization of traffic in the Straits of Hormuz and people getting oil back into the market quickly, we're in big trouble for a long time. And that means here, rather than the $1.91 you're paying, looks more like you could be paying upwards of $2.10 a liter going into the fall.
Oh, that's amazing. And of course, when it gets to that point, I suspect we're going to have all kinds of handshaking and smiling over in Strait of Hormuz, and supplies will open up again at that point, won't they? Look, Dan, I beat you out for questions this morning, but I got one more. We are an oil-producing nation. We've been told that's why we don't have stockpile. Should that change?
No, we have a stockpile. It's called the oil sands. It's called Bay du Nord. It's everything else we have around Newfoundland. We have the potential to pull that out. In the case of oil, if we have oil sitting in the ground today, I can guarantee in 2 weeks it's on the market if we have to. But we don't have the pipeline capacity. And in the case of Bay du Nord, we need to get the federal government, along with the provincial government's done wonderful work here, to get Equinor to say, yes, we're ready to go and get this thing underway in 2027. One way or another, the world's going to need a lot more of our oil. And guess what? You guys are placed strategically closer to Europe than anyone else. The kind of oil you're potentially pulling out of there, as you are currently, is the kind of oil that is favored by the entire world.
Okay, so we don't need to pull it out in advance. We've got it there. It's stored properly where it is right now. Dan, thank you so much for all the insight this morning. It was great chatting with you. All the best, and happy travels.
Yeah, thanks. Let's do this again, Darren. Cheers.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Right now we're going to line 5, where I have Mark Lane. Mark Lane, of course, is a impact director in Newfoundland and Labrador for the North Pine Foundation. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hi, Darren. How are you?
Not too bad. And, I thought I'd reach out to you last week because I know you're a soccer guy and your whole family are soccer people. Any thoughts on the World Cup so far before we get into the great work you're doing in Bell Island?
Well, it was disappointing that Canada has now been displaced from the rest of the competition, but super proud as a soccer fan, super proud as a Canadian. Hats off to those young men who performed exceptionally well in the FIFA World Cup, and we look forward to seeing them back in a couple of years.
Yeah, and they're into the final 8 now, final 7, I suppose, after last night. The Moroccans that knocked us out are gone. France took them down yesterday. Do you have a prediction for the World Cup champion this year?
I don't know. I mean, maybe England? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna talk to Sam for that one.
That's a 60-year dream, Mark. England winning, but yeah. Ask Sam. I suspect he's probably leaning towards France or Argentina, but you never know.
I'd say so. He's asleep in the back seat of this truck I'm in right now. We're on our way to Grand Falls, so I'm pulled over by Clarenville.
So Mark, North Pine has done some great stuff recently. We heard from Sharing Our Cultures founder earlier this week about their Boost program that you've been involved in that would help young people over the summer months when things aren't happening and maybe education falls off a little bit. And here you are yesterday on Bell Island announcing over $1 million in funding for a couple different initiatives for youth on Bell Island. Just go over what you're doing there.
Yeah, Darren, so, as you mentioned, I'm the impact director for Newfoundland and Labrador. There's a team of 2, myself and Roseanne Leonard. We've had the fortunate opportunity to work with 2 of the most generous people that I've ever met, John and Kathy Phillips, who hail from Scarborough, but have a home here in Newfoundland and have an affinity for us Newfoundlanders and Labradorians. And so they've given us the gift of being able to share their wealth and invest strategically in solving socio-economic challenges in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. And I started in 2021, Darren, and we just broke a $40 million mark invested in the province. And we've leveraged much more. But it's not the important number, the 40 million or the 1 million. What's important are the outcomes that we're getting, the number of jobs created, the number of students who are graduating, better access to health care, for example, for Hope Air. And so we've done, as I mentioned, about 36 investments. And roughly just broke the $40 million mark yesterday on Bell Island. So on Bell Island, what we're doing is, so myself and Roseanne went over a few weeks ago. My first time back to Bell Island in many, many years, since my wife, I think, was the figure skating coach over on the island back in the early 2000s. And so we did a tour of the cave, met the people, and people often say, you're from Newfoundland, you're a friendly bunch on the island of Newfoundland. And I always say, look, go to Labrador. They're exceptionally friendly. And Bell Island, it's not often you leave with 16 cord of wood and a fruitcake. My first day on Bell Island, right?
Right,
So,
and Mark, it's amazing. You talk about going down in the mine and all of that, the museum they have over there, and the things they've done since the late 60s, since the closure of iron ore mines over there. They have really worked really hard to maintain their community, their identity, and stay there and not just give up on the island to try to make it work. And they've done a number of things. The boost that you folks have given them really has set them down a path to do things that they haven't been able to do in the past. Tell us about those initiatives.
Yeah, absolutely. So our first week up on the island, we met with a lot of stakeholders, a lot of those passionate people, as you mentioned, who have, put a stake in the ground and want to stay. Bell Island, in the height of its day in '66, there's about 14,000 people on the island, and today around 2,100. So one of the things we heard, and yesterday's announcement, I would say this, is the starting line, not the finish line. So those were the first two announcements of several that we're working on. But the first thing we heard was that there's 70 high school students on the island of Newfoundland, or on the island of Bell Island, and 35 are hired, fortunately through Canada Summer Jobs and through the provincial financing. But there's 35 kids on the island who didn't have access to work. And when you don't have a driver's license and you rely on a ferry system to go to and from the metropolitan city, it's almost impossible. And there's lots of groups over there, for example, Henry Crane and his theater group or whomever, Boys and Girls Club, who could always use student summer staff. And so what we did, we hypothesized that if we gave every child on Bell Island a summer job, and we guarantee that job based on two caveats or two criteria, one of which they need to get 80% attendance in school, so the next year, and they also have to complete a series of micro-credentials through either, like, for example, Academy Canada or Kean College. So that child in grade 9 who got their first job this summer will cash their first paycheck this summer. When they graduate high school, if they remain a part of the program that we're financing with the town, they would actually have, 6 or 8 different micro-credentials graduating from high school. So the intent is that the hypothesis is if we give youth access to summer jobs, summer employment, where they, build, employability skills and get that attachment to the workforce, I think, or we hypothesize, and we'll see in 3 years what that translates into in terms of post-secondary pursuance and in terms of going directly into the workforce or getting a trade. The second one that we invested in was
Look,
the Boys
just
and Girls
Mark,
Club.
on that first one, it's so important because, and I can tell you, and I worked in the soccer industry for the last 13 years or so, being able to provide economic opportunities for jobs and support jobs for youth within their own community is extremely important, and it gives a sense of purpose. It helps build community. It provides a sense of ownership and responsibility for within the community. So that alone is a major step forward to help Bell Island and their endeavors going forward, creating that sense of attachment for the youth so they don't have to go somewhere else to find work.
Absolutely. Darren, my first job, I was 9 years old, picking capelin on the wharf in Holyrood with Alex Grushy. And I remember, it took me the full day to pick a pan of capelin. And I got $5 or whatever it was back in the 80s. But I was proud of that $5 or $7, whatever I did, because I made it. And, my real first job, I would say, was with the green team and was working with the salmon hatchery over on the North Arm River in Holyrood. And I ended up working in aquaculture for 30 years. So those jobs that you're first introduced to or your first introduction to the workforce are absolutely critical, at least in my case and many others, in shaping your future and how you participate in the workforce moving forward as an adult.
Now, it's a two-pronged announcement. That was the first one, and the second one we've already heard, I think, earlier this week from that other group, but it's the same type of scenario. Just explain what's going to happen there for young people on Bell Island during the summertime.
So basically, we've partnered with Joey and his group at the Boys and Girls Club, and like many organizations, they're at maximum capacity. So we're giving them full capacity to do what they dream of doing, and that's providing a safe space for every child on Bell Island for the summer, access to healthy food. There's a continuum of learning in mathematics and literacy, for example. And so we're going to work with them over the next 3 years to determine, what continuation of education is in the summer. And it's not formal education sitting in a classroom, but there will be mentorship, et cetera, through those individuals who are working at the Boys and Girls Club. So we'll see as well. So basically, yesterday, with the $1.1 million announcement on behalf of North Pine, we've got everybody basically covered for this summer, and moving forward for the next 3 years, everybody from grade kindergarten to grade 12. And it's our initial investment. As I said, it's a starting line, not the finish line. And yesterday we heard, for example, there's no childcare. So we're looking at, is there an opportunity for childcare spaces on Bell Island? What will that bring? Because I know when I was deputy mayor of Holyrood many, many moons ago, one of the biggest things that we did that reshaped the future of Holyrood was actually introduce two daycares into Holyrood so that you attract young families. The mine, for example, another investment that we're looking at. World class, Darren. I don't know if you've been there or
been there a couple of times. Love it. Yeah, I used to go over there for a big trip overseas with my daughter in the summertime. We made a yearly visit over to the mines. It's fantastic.
Mind blowing. My first time was only a couple of weeks ago. I'm embarrassed to say it, and my boss John Phillips told me I shouldn't be embarrassed because I haven't been there, and he was before me. But I encourage everybody to listen to your show. Go to Bell Island. Meet the people at Bell Island. They're beautiful. Go to the mine. Talk to TRC there. Absolutely amazing. And the war history on Bell Island, something else I didn't really realize, that, the Nazi Germany at the time actually torpedoed Lance Cove, 3 ships, or I think sunk 3 or 4 ships off the coast of Bell Island. So it was the only part of the Western world that saw any action. So we're working with all the different organizations and the council and Mayor Phillips, et cetera, and the schools to really invest. And the reason people say, well, why you pick Bell Island? Bell Island, has had its ups and downs, just like everywhere else in Newfoundland with the closure of the fishery. They had a closure of a mine. Someone said to me yesterday, Alfred, I was at the hub, and Alfred said to me, he said, throw Newfoundland in the dryer, what you take out is Bell Island. So it's like a macro economy. and so that's what we're doing. We're using that as a test bed of making strategic investments. And if we can really help Bell Islanders help themselves to create that economy that I think they deserve and they can do with all those assets they have, the most important being their people, I think that it's a win-win for everybody. And it's something that we can take and scale and replicate across the province or even across Canada. Yeah. I mean, Fogo did it, right? So Zita and her team at Shorefast really did a good job in reshaping the future of Fogo. And they're working with us, actually, on this initiative. And so we're hoping in 5 years, 6 years, that, it's not going down to 2,000 people in Bell Island or back to 2,300 and it's going the other way. And there's lots of opportunity.
Areas like Bell Island, other areas in the province, they just need a leg up to get themselves set. And the people with means that are looking at Newfoundland and Labrador, the way through your North Pine Foundation, is an incredible investment in the people and especially in the youth, because that is what's going to build the community going forward. Mark Lane, just anything before we finish up? We're past the news time, but I'm used to getting in trouble for that.
Me too. So, but Darren, listen, thank you for the opportunity. If anybody's interested in investments in their community, reach out to Roseanne and I. Go to our website, northpinefoundation.ca. There's lots we can do here in this province. We've got a lot of opportunity, and through the generosity of John and Kathy, I mean, let's get to business. Let's see what we can do here in this province.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
Now we're going to go to line 5. And line 5, we have Cheris Cotter from the Western Bay Lighthouse Trails. And Cheris, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hi, thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Now, you've got something on the go that is very important and very timely. Just tell us a little bit about it.
So I'm on a committee that looks after the boardwalk and trails in Western Bay. And last year in the wildfires, we lost about half the boardwalk to the fires. And this weekend, we're having a community cleanup day where we're asking volunteers to come out and bring tools and come on your ATVs if you've got them with a trailer, because we're going to kind of dismantle the old boardwalk that's been damaged and drag all the wood to the parking lot where we're going to have a dumpster. And it's to clean up the whole area so we can rebuild part of the boardwalk.
It's part of the process of moving past that terrible fires out there last year is the rebuilding process and getting rid of the old and allowing for the new. Even though it's going to be great to be able to move forward, it must still be disheartening to see and to know what happened to all the work that went into that trail out there.
Yeah, it really was. We've been working on it since about 2017. It was built in 2008, but in 2017, the boardwalk started to deteriorate. So a few of us got together, and ever since we've been putting new boards on it and fixing it and replacing some of it. And then to see half of it go was kind of heartbreaking. In terms of everything else that was lost on the North Shore, it was a minor thing, but it was still hard. And but we've got a really good bunch of volunteers here and people who will come out and help. And we also got some donations to help with rebuilding part of it from the Community Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador and the Red Cross. So that's really enabling us to rebuild what we've lost. But we're only going to build part of the boardwalk because really out here, right by the ocean, a boardwalk is pretty expensive to maintain and to build. So we're going to change part of it into a trail, just a stone trail. And that's all coming later in the summer.
Yeah, and it is absolutely expensive, especially with wood these days. And to build a proper boardwalk, it must be incredible. You mentioned the Red Cross. Is that monies that come through the donations that were raised in support of Conception Bay North last year?
Yes, some of that money was set aside for infrastructure. And that's what we got some money from. And then the Community Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador, that's also donations. It's all donations that people have given to help with the infrastructure that we lost. And there's several different projects on the North Shore that are being funded by that, including ours. So we're really grateful for that because usually we get our money from grants and from local fundraising. But for some reason this year, the grants just dried up. There were no grants coming from the federal government or the provincial government. So we're really happy to get these donations.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's strange that you're not getting the grants, especially given the scenario that you're facing going forward there in rebuilding. But just on that note, it's you're looking for volunteers to come out and help. Just go over it once again. Where should they meet and what should they bring and what can they expect?
Yeah, if you come to the parking lot just before the boardwalk in Western Bay at 9 o'clock Sunday morning, we'll be there and we'll have a dumpster to put all the wood in and bring your tools, hammers, chainsaws, drills, whatever, to help us dismantle it. And we're going to be working till about 2, but you can come anytime and come for an hour, come for 2 hours, that's fine. And we're just going to be hauling the wood up the hill and down the hill and to the dumpster, basically. And there'll be a lot of friendly people there. And we're really happy to see any volunteers that can come. Excellent
initiative, and it's the right way to do things. And of course, I know the community is going to come together out there to help with this project and to help you make this area of the Western Bay renewed and back to user-friendly and welcoming for all those who want to use that boardwalk and that walkway and along the beach area there in that beautiful area of the province. So thank you for the initiative and have a great weekend. And if you want to give us an update as to how things went, give a call back next week for sure.
Okay, and thanks a lot for getting in touch.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
It is Friday. Everyone's excited about the weekend, I'm sure, but I've got Paradise Mayor Patrick Martin online this morning. Welcome to the show, Mayor.
Good morning, Darren. Thank you for taking my call. And first of all, I want to say it's a fantastic job you're doing hosting the show, filling in.
I love filling in. It's a bit of fun for sure. But Mayor Martin, you got something serious on your mind this morning, I assume.
Yeah, absolutely, Darren. I want to talk about the recent, I should say recent, but the uptake in the illegal use of the ATVs and the dirt bikes in all the municipalities. And I'm referring to the town of Paradise here now. We've got a serious issue with the illegal use of these ATVs and dirt bikes on the streets. And I think this time that with the RNC steps up their patrols a little bit more, we need to get something done here, Darren.
Yeah, I was driving through, and I was driving through beautiful Paradise yesterday, and of course, 2 dirt bikes came right up the road in a center lane, not even on the curb lane, and there's no licensing on them, and they didn't seem to mind doing it. Happens in my community all the time, and happens everywhere. I've seen them on the Parkway. The regulations are there, the rules are there, but having police on every corner to catch them is hard business. What are you suggesting? What would you like to see done?
Yeah, well, Darren, respectively, the RNC just pulled off I'll call it they done a little undercover operation in some of the neighbouring municipalities of both Paradise, and it was successful. They went on the trails and on the roadways and issued 12 tickets. The fines are quite hefty. They range from $325 to $650, and they can go higher than that as well. A lot of these are for kids that are operating unsupervised motor vehicles that are, under the age for one thing. And the other issue we have, Darren, is the uptake in the e-scooters and the e-bikes. We've got a serious issue there, and I think this falls under the province to. We've got to get this sorted out before we have some serious accidents here. We got to get some legislation in place and get it so that the RNC can do their jobs and get more enforcement in that aspect, because we've got serious issues going on in Paradise.
Yeah, no, absolutely. With the e-scooters, and of course, it's a concern. They're flying down the road. Safety rules. There's no rules right now on the books, of course. So it's left to parents to guide the young people that are on these, and they're not all young people. I've seen older people on them too. But to guide these, and of course, once you're out of the sight of your parents, you and I were both young, Patrick. We know. You didn't act exactly the same when you weren't with your parents and when you were, and of course that leads to issues. Now, Mike Guzny was on earlier this week saying that the province is looking at legislation with regards to rules for e-scooters and all these other types of travel modes that are falling outside the acts that are in place now with the Off-Road Vehicle Act or the Highway Traffic Act and so forth. And we need to have some leadership in that and some legislation in place to allow municipalities to act further when it comes to safety of these, because it's not, it's the safety of the riders and so forth that I think about. But of course, when you're driving down the road and one's spinning past you, then you don't want to be the one that hits one of them either.
No, that's right. That's right. You're exactly right there, Darren. You hit the nail on the head. But, I'm glad that they're looking at the legislation. I think I heard that yesterday. But, I thought it would be important to just call in and get some information out. Our MEOs are out patrolling all the time, but they only have so much authority and so much control. They're not going to chase these kids. No more is what the RNC tell us, that they're not going to chase the kids. I'm feared that someone's going to get seriously hurt. But, they're out doing their jobs. RNC, we've had some success in issuing some tickets before to parents as well as the riders. So, from our perspective, to our residents in Paradise, our MEOs got their hands tied. They're out doing what they can, but this council is committed to resolving this issue and working with whoever needs to be worked with to see that done.
No, absolutely. Your council and many other councils, ours included, are looking at this to see what is legal under the rules that we can do. And of course, we would support any legislation that comes out to help make our roadways and the users of these e-scooters and other vehicles safer for everybody. But like the motorized stuff that's out on the road now, it must be pretty frustrating. There's been a lot of education. There's been a lot of publications about where and what you can do. But especially in the summertime, it just seems to be the Wild West when it comes to these dirt bikes and other unlicensed vehicles and uninsured vehicles going up and down the roads. It is a concern, is it not?
It is absolutely, Darren. And as the RNC points out, that the electric dirt bikes are classified as off-road vehicles, and under the provincial legislation that we have currently, and so they can't be operating in the middle of the streets, up tops of the road, and everywhere else. They're also doing havoc to our some of our municipal infrastructure. We put in heavily invested in some of our parks, and we're seeing more and more of it being torn up daily, and it is really frustrating for council and the residents to see this. We put in everything we can to try to protect it and still make it accessible to our residents, but it's just really hurt. It tears at your heart to see all this stuff being torn up, Darren.
Absolutely. Mayor Martin, if I could, I got you on the line, and of course, a fire forced you out of your town hall facility. I can't remember how long ago it was now, maybe a couple of years. And you've been in sort of in temporary digs ever since, and so forth. I know you've been working to get your way back into a permanent facility. What is the status of that now for the town of town of Paradise? Sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Darren. We're hoping to be back into the council chambers by the end of the year. We have some challenges there getting stuff done. Anything when it relates to a fire, as we all know, takes a little bit more time than we think. So, staff have been working really well with the insurance and stuff to get this all done, and with council's direction. And as for the, we're going to be building a new depot. We've invested to build a new depot off-site away from the council chamber. So we're hoping to have that done within the next couple of years. So, hopefully at the end of the year, to answer for your short answer.
Okay, that's great. And of course, your depot attached to the town hall was where the situation happened. Are you separating the two, or what are you doing there?
Yeah, we're going to be investing into a new depot up off of Kemet Road Extension. We own some property up there adjacent to the soccer field, so we're going to be building a new structure over there. Our depot, besides the fire, we were, maxed out on space. We never had enough space there to for our workers and stuff like that. So we really needed a new facility. Anyways, Darren, this is something that I was committed and council were committed to doing, to invest into the snow clearing and the day-to-day operations for our staff. They deserve it. We and our residents deserve it. So I'm happy to see that this is all moving ahead.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Mayor Patrick Martin, for the town of Paradise, raising issues about illegal use on the roads of dirt bikes and ATVs and other things that shouldn't be there, and the concerns he has for his infrastructure and, of course, for the safety of residents. Thank you so much, Mayor Martin, and all the best, and enjoy your weekend.
You too, Darren. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Take care.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
And I have on line 4 the Mayor of Balleen, Chris Dredge. Chris, welcome to Open Line.
Good morning, Darren. Thanks for having me.
Must be a beautiful day in Balleen today.
Usually is, boy.
Well said. Well said. Look, the reason we're talking to you today is that I guess over the past year or so, we had heard about a major project, a big boost for the Balleen area, that there was going to be a major film and television soundstage constructed down there, and to help with the industry here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and your community had been chosen. Mayor Dredge, what is the current status of this? Because there's some talk that this either may be on hold or may be dead.
Yeah, certainly. This was a pretty significant announcement. So we've been in touch with the proponent, the soundstage company, since the project's been announced. So I guess it has evolved over time. The timeline, I guess, earlier updates there, I guess, the spring, that the timeline was longer than originally anticipated. And just in preparing to speak with you today, we've reached out again. So the official status, it is, I guess, on hold for the time being. So that's not the update we had hoped for, and certainly the town has been supportive of the project. We believed it was an exciting opportunity, not only for Balleen, but certainly our province's film industry. So we're still hopeful that this might be something that can be that comes back online, but as for now, we're being told that the project is on hold.
Okay, have you been given any reason for that?
No, I think it's important that I guess the company would speak to that. I mean, it's certainly it's any of these large scale decisions. There's a number of factors. I'm sure that's playing in. So we really don't want to speculate, but so we kind of have to just. We take the company. We respect, the information that they provide us, and at this time, it's just an indication that it's on hold.
Yeah, and what was the original timeline in from your understanding, and when did you hope to see some action? I guess construction action.
The original timeline, and I wasn't on council when the project was initially announced. I came in after the project was announced, but our earliest meetings, I mean, it was a multi-year project. So there was a 3 to 4 year timeline, I think, and, we were anticipating, and obviously looking for work to begin, we really wanted to see shovels in the ground. So we had remained in contact with the company just to, ensure if there's anything they needed from us, or they had all the information they needed. So we've been very, open with them, and as well they've been in touch with us. So, and I guess it never really made it to that phase. So that's where it's to. So like I said, it's, it was certainly a big opportunity that we still kind of hope that would, we remain open to working with the company as things progress.
Yeah, what would something like this mean to Balleen, and all those areas that are around there, even throughout the whole Northeast Avalon? It would be a huge project for the entire region, wouldn't it?
Oh, certainly. It did have tremendous potential. Even as a standalone project, it would have certainly been, a boost to the town's economy. But like you said, to the spin-offs, when you bring in something of that magnitude, and certainly in an industry like the film industry, there's so many other businesses and that go along with that. So, and then of course the spin-offs of having that kind of influx of people and businesses to the entire region, like you said, the Northeast Avalon here, would have certainly been very, very beneficial as well to existing businesses out here, and then what you would think too would be the potential spin-offs to support industries. So it would be a great thing to see come to our region.
Yeah, and Mayor Dredge, did the town do anything to prepare for I guess this construction? Was there requests for zoning and permitting and all these different things that have to go through councils before any project of any magnitude? I guess how much work did the council do on this to get ready for the possibility of the construction?
The area that they had identified is zoned for that type of development. Of course, if we would need to apply the approvals and the permits once it moved to that phase of construction. So the area that was identified is, I guess, sort of outside of our residential area. We do have commercial development in that area as it stands, so it would have been a perfect area that's not in the middle of any of our residential where people have their homes. So I mean, it did kind of have a perfect location for it. So there wasn't a lot of concerns. We felt like that was a great location that would have a minimal impact. And even in recent years, that particular part of the road has been upgraded by the provincial government. So the area was very much prepared to see that type of development, and we were prepared to, as things progressed, to, I guess, engage in those conversations. But like I said, it didn't really move past that point.
Yeah, and and it's not uncommon. Business does what business does, and it's not. We see a lot of things come across our desk for development that we never hear back on at some point, or get delayed and so forth. Doesn't mean that it's gone. It just means that things get in the way of moving forward. And of course, it's something that we really like to see. Balleen or anywhere in this region, something like this, a great boost to the industry and help us grow the industry. So we'll keep a close eye. Thank you, Mayor Dredge. Anything you want to say before we finish up?
Yeah, I would just like, I guess, to reiterate that, we've had a good working relationship with that company, and, we are very much open to continuing to have discussions. We, again, on hold, like you said, it's, things come across your desk, and, so we'll kind of, again, continue to be there to look at that opportunity. And I do like to think, plug for our town, I think, the fact that we're considered for that type of opportunity says something really positive about our town. We're just outside the doorsteps of St. John's, but yet we maintain a very, rural environment. We have a lot of wilderness, coastal areas. So, it does, you hate to see an opportunity, you like to see that come to fruition, but I think it just reinforces that, we have something special here, and we're certainly we'll support any opportunities that fit our town. And if this one comes back, we'll certainly be there to continue working with this company as well. So just thanks for the time this morning to come on and speak to it. And we're certainly, as things go forward, we'll certainly provide any updates, and feel free to reach out to us anytime on this or anything else. We're happy to talk to you.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
And right now on line 3, I have Jody Wall. Jody, the MHA for Cape St. Francis. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Darren. Thanks for taking my call. It's always a pleasure to be on the line speaking to your listeners.
Absolutely. And Jody, what's on your mind this morning?
Well, Darren, I wanted to call in today with respect to our Foster a Future campaign. So we launched this back in May, and I'd last spoke with Russell on the morning show about 3 weeks ago. So I wanted to call back in today just to keep the message fresh, because we have had considerable uptake since we launched this campaign. And I just wanted to reach out to your listeners today to again share that message that we have more than 900 children and youth across our province currently in care, and they are unable to live with their families. So we recognize the needs of including and supporting more foster families here in our province to support the children and youth who can't safely remain at home with their families. So we started this fosterafuture.ca. It's a great campaign with an updated website. And since we have done that, we've had considerable uptake from the public, from people reaching out who are interested in fostering a child or youth, but didn't really know what to do or how to go about it. So this new campaign certainly has put a great light on it, and we've had, as I said, considerable uptake since we launched it. And I wanted to call in today just to make sure that the messaging is fresh, that the people are aware of what's going on, because again, we've had quite a bit of engagement, but we want to make sure that it's still out there to the public.
Yeah, no, and of course, we've heard of the shortages in the past, and I know through the media, people have interviewed, the Foster Families organization, and there's always that need for people in the queue. The demand, unfortunately, is probably steady or growing, and of course, to get more families involved in the foster program is really important. You've had great uptake, and I know you got to go through all kinds of different things, procedures and so forth, to ensure that you have the right people, can match up the children, they have the right supports and so forth. And so does that process start immediately when someone reaches out and applies, or do they have to wait and so forth? Because I know we've heard in the adoption end of things, people have had to wait excruciating amounts of time to get through the system.
No, that's a great point, and with the adoption campaign as well, we are currently working on that with new staff hired to ensure that we can move that forward. But with respect to fostering, if an individual has the compassion to make a difference in the child or youth's life, and they have ability to do so, and when they reach out, then it's started immediately. They speak with one of our staff, and again, not everyone is going to the website. We do also have a phone number that people can reach out to if they want to speak to someone directly. That number, Darren, is 1-855-683-8111, or they can send an email to fosterafuture@gov.nl.ca. Or you can go to fosterafuture.ca website. So when people reach out in either way, that process is started immediately. And as I said, we've had good uptake. Very pleased with it. And when we see that someone wants to make a meaningful difference, then we will do our best to support them. And as they move forward through the process and they become a foster parent, we continue that. We work with them through supported training, resources, and ongoing guidance, because it is a journey. fostering certainly is a journey, but it's one that makes such a difference to a child or youth's life. Every child or youth deserves to be loved and supported in a stable home, and that is our goal. So that's what we're working hard towards, and I got to say a great shout out to my team on that, and I also want to give a shout out to Kelly Hodder and her team at Foster Families NL. They're doing great work over there as well. We have a great working relationship with Kelly and her crew to make sure that we reach as many people as possible during this campaign, and to make sure people, if they have the interest, that we get them, we sign them up, and we support them through their journey. So that's important to all of us.
Yes, and of course, people may have been holding back before, not knowing what was required, and maybe even more importantly, not knowing if there were supports, training, help for them to be able to do what's needed. And I suppose that's the importance of the campaign, is to reassure those out there that are wondering or thinking about it that there is those supports in place to help them through the process and to help them as a foster family of the future.
Absolutely, that's so true. And we also recognize the financial impact as well. There wasn't an increase in foster families for about 12 years. So we introduced new rates as well on June the 1st, thanks to Budget 2026. We increased the foster families' rates between $395 and $680, depending on the age and location of the child or youth, because we realize the financial impact that cost of living is having today. And you can't operate on a budget that doesn't support that. So we recognize that need as well. Very happy that was in Budget 2026 to support this. And as I said, as many people as we can reach, Darren, to reach out, to have a look at the website, or to pick up the phone and give a call, speak to someone about this. As I said, if you have the compassion to make a difference in a child's life and the ability to do so, we want to speak with you.
Minister Wall, I would assume that the department would think it would be very important that the children have foster families close to their home in many, many cases to offer that extra support rather than moving children out of communities. You're looking for people from all around the province to come forward?
Absolutely. That is a great point, that we do keep that first and foremost when we look at the child or youth that's coming into foster care. We want to make sure that they have that ability when they're able to. Some children are not able to go have contact with their parents or their family, but those who do, we want to make sure that they are in close proximity. So we do what we can with respect to the numbers that we have right across Newfoundland and Labrador. As I said, this is, as I said before to another individual, this is not a St. John's Metro issue. This is every corner of our beautiful province that we're trying to reach out to. And thanks to you today and to VOCM and all of your listeners, I'm sure they're hearing this morning, that this is very important to us. And if you have that ability, we would like to speak to you about fostering a child or youth. And
what are the connections? How can they connect with your department and learn more about this?
Absolutely. They can go to fosterafuture.ca. They can call 1-855-683-8111, or send us an email, fosterafuture@gov.nl.ca, and someone will get back to you and be in touch and have that to make that contact and have that conversation. Okay, very important to get that information out again. It's a big need in our province, and we want to see as many supports as possible, solid supports for youth in their communities. Minister Wall, is there anything else you had on your mind today before we let you go? Yes, there is. I want to put on my MHA hat for the beautiful district of Cape St. Francis. We have a serious issue going on in our district this morning. We have a missing 85-year-old gentleman. I'm thankful that VOCM put it out on their website this morning. Mr. Pat O'Rourke is missing, a fine gentleman from the town of Loggerby, Middle Cove, Outer Cove, and he went missing approximately 2:30 this morning. So I was on site this morning and spoke with the ground search and rescue team, Harry Hutchings and Jack Hickey and all the crew that are located now in the Justina Centre parking lot. They have their command centre set up there. They have about 25 plus people and RNC officers as well out looking for Mr. O'Rourke. It's very important that we bring him home. So we're doing everything that we can. I'd like to commend the ground search and rescue team, the RNC. I spoke with Mayor Shannon Power this morning on site. The town is doing and giving whatever they can do to help out the situation. But this is very important that we, of course, find Mr. O'Rourke and bring him home. So if anyone is in the area, please keep an eye out for homeowners. Check your garages, your sheds behind your homes. There's a lot of wooded area in this area that he was missing from. And we want to make sure that he's found and brought home safe. So just wanted to get that out as well. And, of course, to give a plug to the RNC, the Rovers Ground Search and Rescue, Town of Loggerby, Middle Cove, Outer Cove, and, of course, VOCM, of course, for sharing this on their website this morning.
Yes, and I understand the Ground Search and Rescue RNC have their police dog out. There's a drone being used. And Mr. O'Rourke is 5 feet, 8 inches tall, weighs about 150 pounds, and he walks with a cane, navy sweatpants, and a khaki and black jacket. And of course, at 85 years old, he needs your assistance. And those folks, any sighting or anything that can be done to help in finding Patrick O'Rourke from that area would be greatly appreciated. And of course, when it comes to the search areas and so forth, always check with officials. Don't just enter on your own. Those searches are coordinated and done strategically. So,
yes, they are, Darren. Great point. They're doing grid by grid, so that is a very important point. Thank you for sharing that. And before I go, I want to say you're doing a great job filling in for Brian while he's away. I don't get to listen in every day, but when I do, I must say you're doing a great job. So good on you for that.
Well, I'm shocked to hear that you don't listen every day. I got to say.
Well,
anyway,
I try. I'll be totally honest. I do try.
You might have to go to work every now and again too. Hey.
Every now and then, for sure. Darren, thank you for your time. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to your listeners this morning and to get both these messages out, and hope you all have a great day.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
I'm going to go to line one where I have Pat. Pat, good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Darren. You would swear that you've been there all your life on Open Line. I was amazed at the knowledge that you have of our province and elsewhere.
I'm getting long in the tooth anyway, Pat, so, some of it's stuck.
Anyway, I'm calling to tell you that I live in an apartment building, which is not that big. It's 3 floors high, and our elevator has been broken for at least 4 months, and I would say 80% of our seniors living here have some form of disability, and some can't do the stairs at all. There are those that have to be taken down in wheelchairs and other means of getting down. If there was a fire, I would hate to see how people who are dependent on wheelchairs, who can't walk at all, how they would ever get out. It scares me. Now I'm on the second floor, so I have 2 flights of stairs to go down, and I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I have other issues with my back, and that's so my mobility is affected. Now I use a cane. But there are other people here who are much worse condition than I am. So I thought I would call and just let the people that own the building get on their heels and get things done before something drastic happens to one of our residents.
Absolutely. How many floors are in this building?
3.
3 floors, hey? And, I'm flabbergasted to find out that it's been broken for 4 months. An elevator in a seniors complex, especially if you've got people that are require wheelchairs and other assistance in mobility up above the first floor. That's something that definitely needs to be addressed. I've asked Dave to make sure that the newsroom knows about this, and I'll ask them to reach out to see the owners, to see what's going on there. Also, these buildings are regulated by the province, and safety regulations and so forth need to be met. And if the building requires for safety for the type of residence that has for mobility issues, then this elevator needs to get fixed. Do you know? Have you talked to them there and asked them about getting it fixed?
No, but I have not talked to them, but I do know that several of our residents have expressed concern to the owner of the building.
Yeah.
And but I have not. And there have been a lot of comments made about it. So I thought myself, maybe if I call Open Line, something could get started, or someone could check it out, because it's too late. If someone loses their life, it will be terrible.
Yeah, no good hearing about something bad happening and the elevator hasn't worked for 4 months. That doesn't help anybody at all. So it's, and especially a concern with people that are being cared for that have mobility challenges that need supports. I mean, I don't know how many people are at this facility, but probably quite a number. And
27 apartments.
27 apartments, over 3 floors. Yeah, and probably most of them are on the second and third floor.
On the third floor, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 that I know that has severe mobility issues.
Yeah.
And I won't count the first floor because they're at the level, but there's people there as well. And the second floor, there's elderly couples, 3 elderly couples, and both, one elderly couple in particular, she has mobility issues, and her husband has mobility issues. So it's okay as long as the status quo stays and nothing happens, but how long do we have to wait? I remember working at a hospital. I'm a retired nurse, and I remember working at the hospital, St. Clair, as a matter of fact, for many, many, many years. And any time there was a glitch in the elevator, it was fixed immediately.
Yeah. Also, the elevator, and now I don't know if it's on the outside, but the elevator usually has a sticker that has, if there's any trouble, to call that number of the people that service the elevator. I'm not sure if that's something that residents could see or do, but if the ownership have known for 4 months that the elevator's not working and not getting it fixed, I don't know what reason there could be, unless there's nobody around to fix elevators anymore. I'm not sure that would be the case, because there's elevators everywhere pretty much. Are you located Are you located in the metro area?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so look, Pat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to have a chat with Dave now when I get off the line with you. You're going to give him the full particulars, and he's going to check with the newsroom, and they're going to see if they can talk to the province and or the building people to see what's going on with this elevator, because it's cold comfort to say that, nothing had happened, so nothing got done. But if something were to happen, there's no going back. It's one of those things that you can't fix after the fact.
No, you can't, sir.
No, and that's no good. Pat, I appreciate you calling with this information. Thank you for bringing it to light.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
So I'm going to go to line 2 now, where I have Mary. Mary, welcome to Open Line.
Good morning, Darren. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. What's on your mind this morning?
I'm calling with concerns about rezoning of 55 Groves Road for development of 9 duplexes. That's 18 homes, pretty close to the entrance and only entrance and exit to Groves Road, Gillies, Pitcher's Path, and Bergeron Street. That's 3 dead-end streets with no access to a fire hydrant. So it would mean 18 new homes, maybe 36 vehicles, with 1 driveway, so parking on the side of the road would be a given, and it's only a 2-way street. So if a fire were to start, this development would create an absolute bottleneck at the only entrance exit to Groves, Pitchers, and Gillies, definitely putting family homes and lives at risk with only one way out. So this proposed development of 18 homes so close to that exit, it's really a disaster waiting to happen. So that green space has been on Groves Road since we were part of Pippi Park. It's a tree line between Seabourn and Groves. So the owners who bought homes on Seabourn, they assumed that they would have a permanent tree line. But right now, if this development goes ahead, they're going to have 18 homes towering over them, and they're going to lose their back gardens to this development. The south side of Grove Road residents will also lose their tree line opposite, and they've enjoyed that for decades. And Seabourn has made it crystal clear to the city they already have low water pressure, so 18 homes on their branch will definitely be negative to that. And this green space has been a natural runoff, an absorber of rain and snow for years. A development will definitely have negative effect on that and on snow clearing. And it's been a home to many species of trees and plants, birds, squirrels, rabbits. They've made it their habitat for as long as it has existed. And it's the only remaining green space left from when we were part of Pippi Park. It's an accident waiting to happen if this development of 18 homes goes ahead at 55 Groves Road. We, the residents, have made it quite clear to the city that we do not want that area rezoned for development. We've had a petition signed, and it's been presented by Ron Ellsworth at a city meeting several weeks ago. We never had enough time to get as many signatures as we would like. We had over 200, 100%, making it quite clear, please say no to this rezoning of 55 Groves Road for development. We absolutely do not want it here, and it's a major, major accident waiting to happen if a fire did happen up here.
Okay, so Mary, usually with a rezoning application, there's usually some form of public hearing. Do you know if that's coming, or is it?
We've had our public hearing.
So this is all passed now. It's fully in the hands of the council now, is it, or are they waiting for the report from the?
They've gotten the report from the commissioner.
What's the commissioner saying?
We made all our points crystal clear, 100%. The commissioner did up his report, sent it in to all the councillors. They've all read it. But his scope was very small. So that leaves us not much room for what we want to say. He wasn't given a very large scope of what he could put in that report.
Yeah, so what did he put in the report? Is he recommending approval, or?
Well, we don't know that. He had to. He's unbiased. We didn't have privy to what he said, really, but every single councillor at City Hall has read that report, and he heard us loud and clear.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Are you expecting a decision at the next meeting, or are you expecting to just hear what was in the report and there to be debate about it at the City Hall before a decision is made?
No, they're making their decision this Tuesday.
Okay.
Yes, and once they decide to rezone, that development will be going ahead. It's like, to me, we're collateral damage. There's so much housing being built around this city. I've looked it up on the city website. This little piece of green space that's been there for decades, why now would they want to develop that? Money. That's the bottom line.
Well, there's a developer that is going to build some houses and sell them, I'm assuming, or rent them, or whatever they're going to do. And, of course, if it's privately owned, then the private owner, I suppose, has the right to apply to develop as long as they meet all the regulations. And, of course, what I'm hearing is this piece of property is not zoned for what they want to do. They want it rezoned, and they've asked council to go through their processes to rezone it to allow for this. And it sounds like you're going to find out Tuesday night if the city is going to send it to the province to get, I guess, final approval or say or what have you, or whatever. Yeah, if it comes with recommendation, if it comes with a recommendation from council to rezone, I'm not sure that the province would get in the way of it. But that's the state of it. So I guess you're going to be watching closely or attending Tuesday night to hear what comes of that area of Groves Road.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, like I say, city councillors have gotten our petition. They've gotten our emails, our letters, our phone calls, 100% against this. So they've heard the people. Thousands will be affected. And Groves, Pitchers, Gillies, Bergeron, O'Brien's Road, Tim Hortons, Cumberland Crescent, all feed into Thorburn Road, and we only have that one set of lights, one exit. So it's major. It's going to have a major effect on traffic, people's lives. It's the city. I'm asking the city, please, on behalf of all of us residents who have said no, please do not rezone this so this developer can build houses.
Okay.
Please.
This is the best of VOCM Open Line.
We're going to go to line 4 right now with Drew. Drew, welcome to Open Line.
Hi, Darren. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, great. Drew, what are we talking about today? Because I believe you're with the Happy Cities. You're one of the co-chairs, and you got some stuff on the go.
Yeah, absolutely. So next Wednesday, Happy Cities wrapping up the Councillor Town Hall series that we started in May and have done throughout June and July with the mayoral town hall with Danny Breen on Wednesday, July 15th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Elks Club, which is located on 19, I believe it's Carpathian Road.
Yeah, so tell us about the series and what's going to happen, what people should expect, and why people should sign up for it.
Yeah, so the first 40 to 45 minutes is a moderated conversation with the mayor, as the other town halls were. And then the second portion, the other 45 minutes, is essentially we open that up to the floor for residents to ask their questions, raise their concerns that they have with the mayor, and kind of get him to answer those questions that they have. So it's really important. We all have a civic duty here and a civic responsibility to come out and interact in these social spaces, and it gives us a chance to do that off of Facebook, right? In a social setting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And giving people the opportunity to have the chat and interact on these subject matters is always important in any municipality. What have you seen so far with the series that you run?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen some common themes. One of the most common themes is housing and affordability. Another one is homelessness and crime. And another big one is the Lineville development. We've seen that come up multiple times, especially in the Ward 2 Councillor Town Hall with Brenda Hawley. A lot of residents were concerned with the Lineville development. So I assume all three of those topics will definitely come up again this coming Wednesday.
Is this a new initiative by Happy City, or have you been doing it for years? Just tell me a little bit about the background of this type of program.
Yeah, so this is a brand new initiative that we started this year, and this mainly came out of what we were seeing on our social spaces, right? We're not really having those substantive conversations anymore online, and whether that's because of news articles not being able to be posted on these social platforms or what have you. And we really wanted to bring it back to the old-fashioned way, stuff that we know that works and has worked for a long time, and that is bringing people into a common space where everybody can be heard. We use respectful tones, and we're kind of getting back to the grassroots of what politics really is, and that's just talking to each other. And we won't always agree, but that's the point, right? And working through those disagreements.
I'm assuming that the residents appreciate the opportunity to raise concerns and simply, in many cases, just be heard on different subject matters.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes, it can be really hard to get a hold of whether it's your counselor or the mayor. They are, individuals and busy people, and they have their own responsibilities and they have jobs. So it is very hard sometimes for regular residents, and they have their own commitments and responsibilities themselves. So with the providing them the opportunity of hosting these types of events, they don't necessarily have to take on the burden or initiative themselves to kind of reach out. They can just come to our event and, get in front of a microphone and give their or ask their questions, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so the next session is when, and what's the subject matter, and who's going to be there?
Yeah, so the next one is Wednesday, July 15th, 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Elks Club, which is located at 19 Carpathian Road. And the topic is essentially what the residents decide. You guys show up, ask your questions, and we will see you there.
All right. It's kind of like here, a Friday free-for-all, but it's going to be a Wednesday free-for-all at the Elks Club, 7 to 8:30. Thank you very much, Drew, for raising this and allowing residents to have an opportunity to meet with council and have their say. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Darren.
The way we finish off the show, we just want to make sure we thank all of you for tuning in. Thank you very much for calling in and being part of the program, whether you're listening at home, listening in your car, or wherever you may be. Thank you very much for the past 2 weeks. We'll turn it back over to Brian Monday morning. Take care and have a great weekend.